Hey, so I know I normally play Steel Beast, but been playing a DCS World with the SA-342 Gazelle lately, and figured I'd show that off. I've got about a week or so with this helicopter. Pretty easy to learn, honestly, especially considering that I am not at all someone who does flight sims. I think the last, flight sim, and with quotation marks on the side of both of it, was that I played was A10 Silent Thunder 2, which was like back in 1996, 97, sometime around there. So, I was like 7 years old and could barely use the thing, and it was very much more arcadey than this. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna run through a quick mission where we fly out to an objective, shoot some Hot 3 missiles at some enemy armor, and then go home and celebrate how awesome we are, because that's what you do, I guess, in this sort of role. We're going to be Uzi 3 at FARP London. Okay, so yeah, we basically fly to Zinni, Golf Hotel 21, and intercept the advancing enemy armor group to allow friendly forces to successfully defend their positions. I don't have track IR or anything yet. It's supposed to come in tomorrow, so bear with me as I use the keypads to move this thing around. Go ahead and go through the startup procedure. And I guess we'll do this properly and actually ask air traffic control if we can start up, Very unfortunate, very shameful. So, yeah, I'm pretty much a rookie when it comes to this, so usually I'm just taking off from the pad, which I know is, not a good thing, but whatever. Okay. Set the flares. Let's see what else I can do during this time period. Start knocking out some of this stuff up here as the engine gets up to speed, which it currently is. So we're gonna release the brake, increase fuel until the blades start spinning, which is about 3,000 RPM right there, so you can tell. Turn this bad boy on, because why not? More navigation is always better, obviously. Okay, start flipping off some safeties. Turn everything on here. Alright, awesome. Great stuff. We'll wait until the turbine and the rotors are equal, slowly increase. Made the very rookie mistake the first time doing this of increasing it too quickly and flooding the engine, which is, I guess a rite of passage for any new helo pilot. Okay, we've got that on, so flip a couple more switches here. Where's that other one? Trim thing there. Set the gyros on, or gyros, I guess. Turn on the nadir, armament, engage the autopilot controls. Go ahead and set this bad boy. Armament's on, so all these other two items are activating. Get our missiles ready, which it appears they are at this point. And we're not really going to need these radios, but I'll turn them on just for the sake of it. And 335. Turn that on to ADF. See if we got a tone, if I can get to it. Huh, weird. Alright, I'm not going to worry about it. We'll be able to navigate fine without the thing. Famous last words, right? Okay, and we're good to go. Go ahead and take off here to the best of my ability. And yeah, I'm sure there's some specific air traffic control thing you're supposed to do, you know, calling it up or whatnot. And, you know, just lifting off from the pad isn't a good thing, but I've not really got deep into this simulation enough to figure it out. So I realize I'm wrong. Feel free in the comments to correct me, and actually kind of be interested in how this procedure goes, if anyone watching happens to know it off the top of their head. So what I really like about this helo, and one of the things that prevented me from getting into flight simulators before now, is the cost of entry. To me always seemed relatively high. I mean, you know, you need track IR, which I guess I ordered it, so at that point it doesn't really matter. But, you know, I basically just picked up this, what's this thing? Logitech Extreme 3D Pro. You know it's great because it's got a lot of words in it. I think it costs like, I don't know, $30, something like that, and you know, it's not the greatest joystick. I'm well aware of that, but it works well enough for flying the Gazelle here. And I'm using every single button on the thing, which it does not have a lot of buttons to begin with, but it does work extremely well. For mapping, I went to the Grim Reaper's overview of this. Did most of the stuff he recommended. I think the one change I did is I fly the Lima from time to time, so as opposed to mapping, just selecting what missile, I use the default Alt F1, or excuse me, Alt 1 through Alt 4, and yeah, use that. So the joystick just activates either guns or rockets for the Lima. I found that's a little bit easier than having to, you know, look over and do all that mess, which is not great when you're having to do that with the numpad. Got about 18 kilometers to go to get to this location, which will be pretty outstanding once we get there. Yeah. But yeah, definitely having a lot of fun with this. I played DCS in the past with this joystick, a little bit with the Su-25T. Very briefly, I really didn't enjoy it that much. It just kind of felt like I was fighting the aircraft and really didn't know what I was doing. The Gazelle really changed that, so if you're on the fence about getting this helo, I would absolutely 100% highly recommend getting it. Learning curve's not too bad. It's relatively simple. There's some rookie mistakes you'll make, like, you know, not putting in the fuel all the way, so when you take off you'll plummet to the earth pretty quickly. And, you know, if you don't activate all the systems properly, you will never be able to engage auto hover mode, which is already a bit of a challenge. I think I've gotten to the point where I can semi-reliably do it, but yeah, you know, it's something that is still, you know, you kind of have to struggle with a little bit, and it's very much almost a muscle memory thing for getting the feel of this aircraft. For the curves I used, I looked up, if you go on Google and look up SA342 Mud Spike, it'll give you the guide from there. I think it's Chuck, I believe, is the gentleman's name, and he gives the curves in there. It was last updated in 2016, so I don't know if anything really new has been added, but it feels really good, really responsive, really easy to fly, and yeah, it's just a very nice helo overall. It does, when you're taking off, pull to the left very heavily, so you'll need to get used to that and you know, put your rudder basically fairly hard to the right in order to counter it when you're taking off. But it's pretty impressive, and I'm pretty amazed, honestly, where, you know, when I first did this, it was not easy at all, and about a week later, I think I've got 7 hours of flight time or something in this thing. Yeah, it starts becoming a bit second nature. I'm by no means a pro, but I'm, you know enough, I guess, to be dangerous, as you might say. Alright, another 8 kilometers. It's, one of the controls I mapped is to center the actual camera pod here. I'll be honest, the Hot 3 is not that impressive as far as when it comes to ATGMs. It works, but you're firing it on a wire, which really means you have to be still. And I think you've got like a 4.2 kilometer range, something of that nature, to make it reliable, which is not really that great when you're in a very light helicopter where small arms fire can realistically kill you in a very dramatic manner. Let's see. So of course the burning mess is obviously the area I'm going towards. I'm trying to scan to see if I can find any sort of actual targets. I've found that is definitely a difficult part of DCS, being able to identify targets. Turning labels on initially kind of helps, but you have to take the training wheels off at some time and at some point. Let's recenter and try again. Okay. I'm wondering if there's through this smoke. Maybe. So I'm definitely hearing fire, and I'm also, you know, ridiculously high up in the air right now. I need to decrease some altitude. Be a little bit lower to the ground. I'll be less, you know, likely to take anti-air. Okay, there we go. And we're at 8,000 kilometers from the first tank we've spotted. What I do like about this camera is it is an exceptional optic. You've got 15 kilometers as far as your range, and it works, I found, really well in a hunter-killer role, where you really use the Gazelle at distance to spot targets, and then from there you can give them a distance and direction from your helo, and your allies can really move on to them pretty effectively. It's actually quite interesting to see. Very impressive, really. Let's go back to where we saw those guys and try to keep low. Still getting the hang of being both the pilot and the co-pilot. Alright, so I think I'm going to try to go to these trees ahead of me, use those for a little bit of cover behind them, and we'll see what we can do. Try to get into a hover here, auto hover. So drop the collective pretty heavily, kind of play with the artificial horizon here, which is, you know, kind of interesting, and just missed it there. Let's try that again. That got it. Okay, and from here you can activate this one mode, which I don't think they have on the actual helo, but it enables you to engage the collective and be able to use it. Alright, we're a lot closer than I would prefer, but we'll go ahead and get on target here and fire our first Hot 3 missile. That should be a good hit. Yep, awesome. Alright, load the next one. Let's see. We'll go with the same general target area. 3,000. I don't like firing through telephone pole, or through telephone wires, so we'll try this one here, also at 3,000 still. But one of the things I learned kind of painfully is you do not want to select the next missile while you're guiding it to target, otherwise you will cut the wire to it, it'll fly off, and that is one less missile from your already limited stash that you have available that you have essentially wasted at that point. Well, controls on this are not the best, but hey, that's alright. Okay, and we're going to do the final one here, fire that off, And as long as it doesn't slam into the power line there, I think we should get a good kill. And we just missed. Brilliant. Well, that's alright. We've done our job here. You can't necessarily be perfect, so let's try to control this thing as I go back to rearm. Let's see. I'm going to go to checkpoint 9, which is not an actual checkpoint. So what is nice with the Nadir guidance system there is that if you do not have specific checkpoints already pre-programmed in and entered, it will automatically fill those with the coordinates of where you're taking off. That of course, that of course makes it very easy to be able to find your way home. So we've done all we can do. We'll hope that the ground forces can take care of the rest of the enemy armor there. Alright, 3 kilometers, and then we'll do my favorite thing, which is landing. I am of the opinion that any landing that you can walk away from is a good landing to start with. I'm sure there are plenty of expert pilots out there who will, you know, laugh at my attempts, but we'll give it a go. I mean, if you're not trying, then you're never gonna get better at it. Alright, so see the pads right there. They're 12 o'clock. Let's try to decrease speed by a little bit. Try to maintain a steady altitude. They decrease by just a tad. Alright. Push up the collective. Gain back a bit of speed there. I'll try from that one, or for the one that is second from the right. Let's see if I can get it.
In from the south, engaging infantry at Balls 31843.
Usually what ends up happening is I get in a decent position like this, and then I start, you know, kind of having some weird hover thing. Let's see. You know, I'll take it. That's probably one of my better landings. So, hey, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this just short viewing of the SA-342. I know nothing spectacular as far as flying it or anything of that nature in this mission, but hopefully I'll be putting more of this on the channel. So if you're into DCS World or wanting to get into it and you haven't checked out the SA-342 yet, I highly advise giving it at least a look. It's been a lot of fun, and from a guy who doesn't traditionally play flight simulators, it's been the thing that's gotten me into flight simulators. Alright, anyway, hope your day, night, whatever it is when you're watching this video goes great, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.